Hello and welcome to Americans Talk Australian Survivor. I'm Rachel.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Matt.
Thanks for joining us. We just watched episode 19 of Australian Survivor Titans vs. Rebels, and there will be spoilers ahead. We open up on night 37, where Valeria has just gone home as a result of Raymond using his ultimate vote advantage. And the whole tribe is discovering that Raymond was all an act. His whole tired, being out of the game, wanting to be voted out, none of it was true.
It was interesting. Ferris said he hopes that no one finds out that he was in on it.
Yes, he doesn't want to know. And he says to Raymond, "You're the most dangerous player here."
I just can't believe people don't know that Ferris was in on it.
Yeah, they must know him. But
Right.
they didn't really spend much time on that.
Yeah, I feel like it seems like Raymond couldn't pull it off all on his own. He seems to be a good actor, but does he have the strategy to do it? It seems like you would know that Ferris and Raymond are tight, but Ferris is definitely playing it off like he has no idea.
Some might say it was an Oscar award-winning.
Ferris might say that.
I feel like I heard that 10 times.
Yeah. So Mark, on the other hand, says that he's devastated. He just lost Valeria, his closest ally in the game, and now he feels like he's kind of stuck with Alex.
And he's thinking about a boys' alliance.
Yeah, Alex is really pushing this idea. He wants to work with Ferris, Raymond, and Mark. And it's kind of an interesting point in the game. Everyone has a little pairing, and so we have 4 pairs of 2s. So it kind of makes sense that Mark and Alex are going to be working together, even though it's not really a duo we've seen much of before.
And it's interesting how so often it comes down to boys versus girls, and when it's, just a few people left.
Yeah, it's a common way to split up that we've seen. And it's easy at this point. We have 8 players, 4 boys, 4 girls.
Right, 4 and 4.
Yeah, and then Ferris is laughing because he said everyone wants to work with him and Raymond.
Now that they've seen how great of an actor Raymond can be, they want to be at the Oscars with them when the show's over.
11.
Yeah.
11
And then the morning of the 38th day, we wake up with a rainbow, and Kirby's out in the ocean and said every single day she loves being here.
Yeah, she hasn't stopped smiling. She's just really having a great time. So I was getting worried watching this, thinking, it feels like they're setting up Kirby to go home. We're talking about what a great game she's had, how she's so thankful. And I'm thinking, I don't know, this doesn't look good.
And we never know until the end, right? So Kirby, I think's funny. She calls Ferris over and says, "Come on in so I can drown you." And then she said, though, that she knows that they work better together than apart.
Yeah, so we've seen this back and forth relationship with Ferris and Kirby. I feel like they're making each other's games stronger because they want to outdo each other and, compete at the same level. So,
But I feel the tension of who's going to get voted out, who's going to...
I know it's too nail-biting.
Someone's going to get the other one. It's not going to come down to those 2 at the end.
I can't wait to see who it is, but wouldn't that be
Right.
a great final tribal to have Kirby and Ferris together?
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Right.
Because in my opinion, those 2 are the best right now.
They're the biggest players.
Yeah.
So we see Alex having a few conversations. He tells Raymond that Raymond just made the biggest move in Survivor history,
Yeah.
and Raymond just kind of shrugs.
And walks away kind of.
Whatever, kind of.
Which I guess you don't want that name on you going into, the final 8 that you've just made the biggest move in Survivor history. But Raymond's not even upset about it forming his target on his back. He's just he has nothing to say.
All right. Now, the next part, I'm not sure. So Alex asked Kirby, what was your favorite move? And she says voting out PETA. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alex says, why don't we talk anymore? And what?
It was a really weird discussion. They're dissecting their relationship. So they're saying well, we didn't get along after not the PETA vote, but the next one. And it was very weird that Alex kept pushing Kirby to say why they're not allies, because it feels like he's only further driving that wedge.
Yeah, I don't know. But in the end, Kirby says, I don't trust you. And Alex says, well, let's get a sword out and start swinging to the end of the game.
So they're ready to go.
Well, I just like how Alex, I don't understand that everyone seems to be
Against
saying
Alex?
he doesn't have anywhere to land or anything, but he keeps landing on his feet, so he does have somewhere to land because he's still there. How many people are gone before him?
A lot.
He is there. If he's with a crew or not, he's as an individual, he is back. He's there in the game. So I don't understand why they're so against him.
I think that argument is in part because it's a social game, so you have to have close alliances. And if you have no alliances and no one trusts you, then like you're not really playing the outwit, outlast, outplay like the whole three. And also, I think that since Kirby and everyone else does have those strong relationships, then it's something to kind of throw in the face of Alex and the jury and say, well, I had a number one the whole game that never turned on me. Alex didn't have any friends. So it's kind of like almost a defense mechanism, I feel like.
I still think Alex then played better than them because he didn't have anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing really well, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see him continue to kind of bait Kirby into an argument. It almost feels like he's been saying that he and Kirby have been going at it, for a very long time, and they have. But I feel like Alex seems to be under the impression that this, huge rivalry is Alex versus Kirby, whereas I feel like the show is projecting more Ferris versus Kirby. And so it seems like Alex and Kirby have really been feuding for a while, but we just haven't focused on that as much. So kind of interesting. So then we go on to the reward. And before we hear what it's about, Alex and Raymond are chatting about what happened last night with Jonathan. Raymond said that he's a method actor. So hopefully he doesn't get stuck in his character for 3 years. Think about Austin Butler having his Elvis accent 3 years later. Hopefully Raymond's not falling over in a couple years. But anyway, so he's very proud of himself. Just kind of brushes it off as good acting. And now we see the reward. So it turns out you have to jump over and under a bunch of hurdles and fill up your bucket that has holes in the bottom in the beach. And then you have to run back to the beach and fill up your tank to a certain line.
I feel like the leaky buckets are back.
Yeah, we've seen them before. So it's a very physical challenge. There's a lot of running, a lot of cardio, and the leaking buckets aren't helping. So the reward is for a survivor spa. So you get lasagna, chocolate, wine, a jacuzzi. It sounds like a very nice reward.
Some champagne and a bed to sleep in and a shower. Seems like a very nice one.
The overnight ones are always very coveted.
Yes.
Well, it seems like it's between Kitty and Alex to win, right? When we watch it.
Yeah, Kitty's off to a great start. She's keeping up with Alex.
Do you see how she can jump over those hurdles? I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Just jump. No
Put her
big
2
deal.
feet together, swung them out to the side, and it was over, just like nothing.
Yeah, you're looking at everyone else trying to climb up that they can barely get over, and Kitty's over in no time at all. And so Alex is doing really well. Kitty's doing well. Rihanna's keeping up with him for a while. The thing that I didn't really like about this challenge is that there's really no suspense towards the end. So with a lot of challenges like this, we'll see this as like step one, and then you go on and you do a puzzle or whatever. And here, there's no like nail-biting moment where someone could catch up or someone could slip up. It's just like it was obvious who was going to win by the end.
Yeah,
It's
you're
a
right.
good point. It's just another physical, purely physical. Who's got the endurance to do it?
So we did see everyone kind of stopping when it became apparent that Alex was going to win. Everyone's talking about Ferris and Kirby are saying, let's vote Alex out tonight. And then Alex does something kind of weird as well. He has enough in his bucket to win the reward and fill it up over the line, and he fills it to the line and then dumps the rest in Mark's bucket, then goes back out to the beach and talks to Mark about who he's going to take on the reward. So we kind of like pause in the middle of the reward almost for them to have a chat. So
that also makes it an unusual challenge that somebody can stop and figure out the strategy of what to do after they win.
So a weird challenge, but interesting, a little bit different.
And Mark tells Alex, "Don't take me."
Yeah, so they're kind of splitting up because they know that Mark knows that he and Alex are strong, so he wants Alex to form other connections.
And then I think Mark said, "Leave Kirby and Ree back at camp with me," right?
I believe that's what he said.
Yeah, it was hard to hear him. But Mark wants to take on those two and, kind of manipulate their opinion of the game. But then Alex wins the reward. He finally gets that last bucket of water and he fills up his tank and he is off to the spa. He gets to take a couple people, of course. First, he picks Rihanna. And we're kind of thinking, did Mark just say, don't pick her?
Yeah, that's right. So he didn't listen to Mark's advice.
Then we're like, okay, maybe he'll come back and, take the other boys to work on the boys' alliance. And then he takes Caroline as his second choice.
Confusing.
And then Kirby. Wow. What?
That was a shock.
Yes.
And then Ferris says he was surprised that he wasn't chosen since he was just asked to join an alliance
Right.
with Alex. And he said that was an amateur move.
I think Ferris is upset that he's not getting any lasagna today.
Right, yes.
Probably.
But,
Sleeping on a bed.
but it is a very interesting move because Alex knows that he doesn't want to work with any of these three, maybe Caroline, but not really Rihanna or Kirby. And he's really working on this boys alliance. So why not take Raymond, Ferris, and Mark?
Yeah.
Or if not Mark, then Caroline to get their fifth number. But for some reason he doesn't. I was thinking maybe he wanted to split up Ferris and Kirby so they're not making moves together. Maybe he's splitting up Caroline and Kitty so they're not working together. I don't really know what the ideology was there.
I don't know. If you take all four guys to the reward, then all four women are by themselves, and
Yeah.
they can plot also. So it seems like it would have been best 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird choice.
Right.
But off they go to the spa.
Yeah.
And they show us Alex is taking a shower, shaving his chest.
He's really getting after it.
I've seen it going on for a long time.
So he's asking Kirby. So everyone's sitting there. Alex is in the shower, and we have a 4-person conversation. But he says, "Okay, Kirby, who's the threat?" So it's really interesting that Alex is seeing Kirby as like the leader of the group, and he's really only talking to her. He doesn't want to talk to Rihanna or Caroline.
Right. And Kirby says, don't know.
Yeah, she won't engage really. Then Rihanna points it back at Alex. She says, "Well, who do you think the threats are?" And he says, "Ferris and Rihanna." Did he say Rihanna or
Kirby? I
He
think
was
so.
just kind of saying like that girl over there. So
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know. They're both threats, so hard to say.
I took he meant Kirby, but I'm not sure. I mean,
Yeah, I wrote
there's
Kirby. Yeah.
there's definitely tension there,
Yeah.
so that's probably who he meant.
But Rihanna's always beating him out in the challenges.
Right.
Yeah.
It's surprising to take those two still.
Yeah, especially since they're such close allies. It seems like I don't
Right.
know, split them up, or I guess
Give them the advantage of carbs. I mean, Rihanna
Yeah.
doesn't need an advantage like that.
yeah, especially going into immunity the next day. So an interesting kind of group. I'm noticing that there's no just like casual conversation. A lot of times on challenges or rewards like this, even if the tribe members aren't working together, they'll still laugh and they'll talk about something back home and they'll have a good time. And they don't seem like they're having fun, really.
No, it didn't appear to have any fun. And the shower was something different. I thought it would be an enclosed shower. And this was,
A little
was not.
privacy
Yeah.
so that they could,
Yeah. Everyone-
take off their bathing suit
Yeah.
and
everyone's watching them when they're taking their showers, brushing their teeth.
But then the real conversation starts when Alex gets sick. Caroline said he shouldn't have had that next piece
Yeah.
of lasagna.
shouldn't have
But he did. So he went off not feeling too well. And then Kirby asks the women, does Alex think he's playing a great game? Which I thought was kind of a dig at Alex. He just
Yes.
took them on this reward and she's like making fun of his game.
And
But
she said, let's just tell him what he wants to hear, huh?
yeah, so they're kind of thinking, he took us on this nice reward, let's enjoy it and,
That's it.
move on.
Yeah,
they're not
they're-
working with him.
No, that's too bad. I wish he would have taken someone who really would have appreciated it.
Yeah,
Thanks for the spa, but
yeah.
that's
So back at camp, we see that Mark says he's keen to lock in Ferris and Raymond. So Mark is thinking he'd like to take Kirby out because she's the biggest threat to him. But he knows that Ferris and Kirby kind of have this love-hate relationship, so he's worried about targeting Kirby first with Ferris. He doesn't think he'll get away with it. So they're talking about Rihanna, and it looks like Ferris is in for Rihanna.
Right. But before that, I think it was interesting. Mark was talking to Kitty, and Kitty said something, and then he said, "Oh, I told Alex not to take me." Did you see
He said that. No,
Yeah,
I missed
yeah,
that.
he said
Okay.
that, yeah.
Oh, interesting. So he wants everyone to know he's still in the good graces of
Yeah.
Alex.
And then
So Alex says back at the reward, let's all go for Raymond tomorrow. And everyone's like, okay, whatever. And it's kind of interesting because both sides feel like they're playing one another.
Right,
Alex is like, this isn't the real plan, but I'm just going to tell Kirby that. And then Kirby is also
Right.
knowing that she's not going in with the
they're
plan.
all just bluffing.
Yeah, so kind of a waste of a reward in a way, but interesting. Another layer to the game.
Right.
So going into the immunity challenge, it looks like the votes are going to be towards Rihanna and Alex. So that makes an interesting immunity challenge.
Right.
For this challenge, you have to stand on pegs in the water and hold on to ropes with sandbags. That's a percentage of your weight. And you have
I
to
like
stand
that.
upright. Yeah, just for you.
Yeah, it seems like a miserable
Yeah,
challenge.
I don't like the challenge, but I'm just saying that it's good that everybody's not holding the same weight.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't like
fair.
the pegs. The pegs just take it too far. I feel like the sandbags is fine, but I don't know. Why make your feet hurt that badly? That just looks like a torture machine.
Right. And I noticed that it seemed to me that the best place to do it would be on your heel of your foot. That seems like the part of your foot that can take the most brunt of the weight. But people were putting it like right on the arch of their foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very painful there.
I feel like you'd have to try it out and move around and
Right.
figure out the best
Easy
place.
for me to say sitting here.
Yeah.
Well, one person who didn't wait it out too long was Ray. First 1 minute, he's gone.
Not a
Barely
surprise.
a minute in.
And then 10 minutes in, the rain came in. Oh, it looks so cold.
Yeah, so people are dropping out pretty quickly. And we see Ferris is hanging in there for a while. Alex and Rihanna both look pretty steady. And then Ferris drops out and down to Rihanna and Alex. So a classic showdown that, we were kind of expecting based on how both of their names were thrown out and also how they're both challenge beasts.
Right. And then Alex falls backwards.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
it's the craziest thing. I don't know if it's the craziest thing I've seen on Survivor, but it was crazy how he is laying back and his back is parallel to the water. I mean, he is like inches above the water. And you think, how can he how can he possibly pull himself up? Because there's nothing for him to pull on. Like somehow he did it. Somehow
he did it. It was crazy. Yeah, incredible.
Wiggled and twisted and stood up again.
And he's barefoot. He doesn't have any shoes to put traction on, anything.
That is just amazing.
Crazy. So
But then after all that work, he dropped out.
Right. It hurt too much. So
Yeah.
he had to step down.
it looks like he was there for a while after that big, fall and then getting himself
Recovery.
back up. I think he stood out for a while, but Rihanna is just really good at these challenges. We see it time and time again. Although she did tell Jonathan, she said that people are going to think she's a physical threat either way, so she may as well win.
Right. So that was her third win. And it is amazing how she can stand play. We see her in each individual immunity challenge, and she doesn't move.
Yeah,
How
she's
did
great
she
and
do that?
Yes, I know. She's just like in the zone.
I guess.
I don't
But
know.
even when
Nothing
she, like
breaks her.
today, she was talking quite a bit, and she was still solid.
Crazy.
Maybe she
Very solid.
doesn't have pain receptors or something. I don't know. It's insane that she's able to do it. So Rihanna wins her
Yeah.
third immunity necklace.
Congratulations.
So she really is a physical threat, and she's deserving all of her wins. So great job. So as we're giving out the necklace and Rihanna's coming back to give everyone a hug, Kirby and Kitty are saying to each other, let's get rid of Alex. And then Kitty whispers to Rihanna as she's hugging her, let's get Alex. So it's kind of interesting that it was happening at the necklace because
Right
we
away.
have all night until tribal. But I don't know. I guess we don't know what time it was. Maybe it took a long time on the challenge and we're running low on time.
Well,
But
remember they said the last challenge was 6.5 hours, Jonathan said, and so that's why they did make it as the pointy
yeah,
places for you to stand on.
Raymond was not ready to sit for 6 hours. He was going to be bored.
And they could be doing it because, we've seen in the past where they immediately take them to tribal. As soon as the,
yeah,
as soon as
sometimes
the
that
challenge is over, right now you're going.
Right.
So you might as well whisper your thoughts right now.
Yes,
true.
Doesn't hurt.
I was hoping that Jonathan would tell us who the players were for the 6 hours. I forgot who the players
Right.
were, and I would have liked to have heard it.
Yeah, I remember seeing, similar things to this, but I can't remember exactly what season. But a tough challenge nonetheless.
It was.
So we get back to camp and we talk about how Rihanna says that the spa brought her, Kirby, and Caroline closer. So that's kind of
Yes.
funny that Alex's hard-earned reward really brought his enemies closer
Right.
together to target him.
And
So-
then, sorry, go.
So the girls are talking, all four are saying that they want to go after Alex, and they're thinking we need a fifth member because we have 8 players and there's 4 and 4. So they're thinking they should bring in Ferris. And that's an interesting move because we know that Ferris has been interested in this boys alliance, and they're thinking, well, Ferris is going to flip eventually, but probably not right now. What do you guys think about that?
They didn't really know about the Boys Alliance, I don't think. So they just thought that Ferris was going to vote with them anyway.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they had to have known that Ferris was somehow involved in last night's Raymond move. So, I don't know. I guess he did tell Kirby about it, so Kirby felt close to him because of that, and then Rihanna was told about it. So I guess there's a lot of trust there from last week.
Right, so they weren't thinking so much male against female.
Yeah.
Right. And then it was interesting because Mark was worried that Alex was going down, spiraling downward, and he was concerned about that.
That's foreshadowing.
That came up
to
twice.
come.
Yeah.
So Ferris, meanwhile, is saying that it's the point in the game where he needs to be cutthroat. And he's thinking about actually taking out Kirby. So Ferris, Mark, and Alex are saying, let's all go on Kirby because Rihanna won the necklace. And they're thinking, should we bring in Caroline and Kitty? So it's interesting to see how both sides choose to bring in their members.
Caroline seems like a logical person.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to bring in Rihanna. And we know that Caroline is close to Mark, and she's worked with Alex in the past. I think that Kitty makes more sense, though, because we know that Kitty has flipped before, and we know that Alex is worried about this.
Great
so
point.
If she's already flipped, why not flip again?
Right. Great point.
But
She was able to do it without spilling the beans.
Right, yeah. And she's willing to as well.
Good.
So
they didn't.
Yeah. They wanted to approach Caroline, and they're having a lot of trouble with this. So Alex thinks that Caroline can make a big move here. He's trying to talk to her. Kitty won't leave them alone. Kitty's in all the conversations, but eventually he's able to tell Caroline that they're trying to make a move on Kirby, but you cannot tell Kitty. And as soon as they get back, Caroline grabs Kitty to go to the water well.
Right. And the cameras don't follow them, or at least they don't show us that part.
Yeah.
To keep the suspense up. So we're not sure exactly
did
what they
talk
talked about
it?
but
who knows?
they seem like they tell each other everything.
Yeah, it was interesting.
As far as the game goes.
Yeah. Well, also, Alex even asked, he said, so, Caroline, are you close with Kitty? And she said, I'm close with Kitty. And it's kind of like they've known each other long enough.
And what about, he asked her about
are you close with Kirby?
Kirby, and she's like, I'm not friends with Kirby.
He's like,
what do you think? She said, what do you think?
Yeah, he's trying to he's like a lawyer trying to establish the line of defense or something, asking questions I already know the answer to. But anyway, so we're curious about Caroline. Meanwhile, Ferris is working with Raymond, and they're thinking that they're in Kirby's shadow and they're ready to get her out.
But Caroline's just really non-committal about whether she's going to go along with it.
She's saying she is. She's saying, 100%, but you don't really get the sense.
Well, Kirby was worried about Caroline. Kirby even mentioned, I don't know if Kirby or Caroline's going to do what we ask,
Yes.
So good for Caroline for being the swing vote tonight, because I feel like she's been targeted time and time again, and like we've said, she's one of the older players. She's not good at challenges, and she keeps having a lot of power in the game. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
She's staying with it. She's still in it. Right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So then we go to an excellent tribal.
Very interesting. So Alex kicks it off by saying, well, at the reward, I should have taken the boys because Kirby and I didn't get along and we're not working together. And Kirby's like, well, we had a plan. Are you not sticking to the plan? He's like, well, you're not sticking to the plan. So it's already off to a weird start where everyone's arguing and bickering, you didn't do the plan.
Right.
And then if not going after Kirby was enough, Alex goes after Ferris saying, are you going to vote for Kirby?
Right. It's just odd questions.
Yeah. And
at a tribal council.
He can't believe he just was asked that by Alex.
So Alex is really blowing up the tribal council, because if Kirby had an idol, she would pull it out and play it right now. And so I feel like it feels to me like just bad Survivor gameplay to be telling all your plans like that and throwing all of your allies under the bus.
Yeah. He even said about you're riding on Kirby's coattails to Ferris, and we know Ferris isn't going to like that.
Yeah.
So maybe he thought that statement alone would make Ferris get mad enough to vote for Kirby.
I think he's just trying to get everybody to say, okay, I'll vote for Kirby because it looks like Kirby's going to win at this point.
Which
basically what he's
would
saying.
make sense. and us at home can understand that. But Ferris said, you might have just messed this all up to Alex.
He might have been better off just going around whispering in everyone's ear, saying
Right,
that.
probably.
Looks like Kirby's going to win. Let's vote her.
I feel like he had the votes going into tribal council. I think Ferris seemed genuinely on board. Raymond was going to vote with Ferris, and Caroline was a solid maybe, which I think is kind of the best he could hope for. So he should have done all of this at camp and say, you know, Kirby's definitely going to win. No one's going to vote for you on the jury if you don't get her out and all of this. But he was looking really good going into it. I thought Kirby was for sure going home before they sat down.
But like Mark said, Alex was becoming paranoid.
Yeah, he was unfortunately really worried. He's asking Ferris, what have you done since the tribe swap? He's saying, Caroline, you haven't done anything all game. He's just really getting personal.
And he said if it comes down to rocks between Kirby and Alex, if it comes down between he and Kirby, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun for him because he'll be safe.
Well, a 50-50 chance, yeah.
Well,
If
at
it
rocks.
can- yeah.
Everyone else will have a chance to go home. So he's basically saying
Right.
that, you know, if he is on the jury and Kirby makes it to the end, he's voting for Kirby. So everyone else better get her out before they all lose the game to her.
Yeah, which is good advice. And then he said he's willing to have it go tie to tie, and then those guys pull rocks, right? I mean, he's ready to put it all on the line.
Yeah, but no one will respond to him. It's a very awkward tribal council. No one wants to make eye contact. Everyone's like nervously laughing. It's a lot of tension in the room.
Which is interesting because I've always thought that Australian Survivor, everyone was extremely nice. I feel this is the first season where the players or tribe members aren't as nice as they usually are. They're more like the Americans. It seems in the past, no one would make another tribe member feel uncomfortable like this. They just didn't do that.
I think it comes back to the idea that Alex doesn't have one close ally. Right now, Mark's working with him, but I don't think Mark is willing to stick out his neck this far and say, oh, Alex, you know, let's quiet down or whatever, and like kind of pull him back in. And I think if he had that one person that he's really close with, they would have been able to pull him back. And no one's willing to risk their game as they're watching him kind of like crash and burn.
I don't know, because then we go to the votes. Can we talk about the votes? And then we see the votes, and Mark is the only one that voted with Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he even said in the confessional, I think you're going home, but I'll vote for Kirby anyway.
Right. So there was his one ally. I mean, they were connected.
Yeah, but I think it would have been too risky for Mark to stake his whole game on Alex. Because right now, Mark can kind of come back.
Right, but he could have if he thought he was going home, he could have voted for Alex, and then he would have looked like a hero, or not a hero, but he would have been like
Heard the
Right.
party.
Yeah.
Well, now it's interesting because now there's 3 Titans and 3 Rebels.
And do you think
left.
they'll go back together?
I don't know. Could be. Let's see what happens. I mean, Mark needs to do something, right? So
Wait,
maybe Caroline and Kitty will bring them back in.
Just 1 second. Aren't there 7 people left? Because there were 8 at the beginning.
Oh.
And then Alex went home,
Oh, sorry.
so it must be 4 against 3.
Caroline, Kitty, Mark, then Ferris, Kirby, Rhea, and Raymond. So
Oh,
4
okay.
rebels and 3
sorry.
Titans.
All
But
right, sorry.
We'll see
yeah,
what
it'll be
happens next
interesting
time.
to see.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it seems like we're always kind of flipping back and forth between the Titans versus Rebels versus these kind of voting blocks and
Right.
allies. So
It's interesting that it's coming down that one team hasn't just dominated.
yeah, I like that every episode you don't know which pairs are going to work together.
Right.
So we didn't really know if Ferris and Kirby would keep working together. It seems like Ferris only voted for Alex because of what Alex said at Tribal. He said in his confessional booth, Kirby and Rihanna are next, but you first.
Yeah.
So he seems to be thinking he's targeting his fellow rebels next.
And did you see Kirby literally looked visibly upset after the vote? I think she's got scared. This scared her.
Well, he really threw her game under the bus. He
right.
made her the biggest threat in the game and told everyone to vote her out. So even if they were mad at Alex and they wanted him out, she's still definitely now at the forefront of everyone's mind as a major threat.
Everyone knows she has 1 vote if she gets to the end.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love Kirby. But I'm glad that Alex did what he did. I mean, he was playing the game, right? He was playing his own game. This is what he had to do. So congratulations to Alex. I'm sorry you went out, but congratulations on the way you played at Tribal.
I don't know. I feel like he could have made it a little bit farther if he had maybe kept his mouth shut going into it. But I don't know. I think Kirby had a great response. She really didn't do anything. She just kind of let Alex take the lead on Tribal, and she didn't really defend herself or fight back. And I think that was probably a good move. She's showing that she's confident and going forward.
Oh, well, at one point he said, what did he ask her something? She said, I'm cool, or what was the word? And he said, do you hear that? She
was very calm.
Yeah. Yes.
He said to the jury, do you hear that? Like, she's not worried about anything. So why is she not worried about anything? Because she knows she's on top.
Yeah. She's playing a great game.
Well, she is, yeah.
Yeah, she is.
So,
I have to say, another excellent episode.
yeah, and I agree with Alex. I think Kirby should win, and we'll see if she can do it. So thanks for joining us. Check out our Instagram polls at ATA Survivor and follow us on TikTok at ATA Survivor, and send us an email at ataustraliansurvivor@gmail.com to say what you think happened with Alex's exit, if you think that he should have been so vocal at Tribal or if he should have taken a step back. Let us know, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.